Well, for the second night in a row, the Arizona Diamondbacks got some crummy starting pitching. And for the second night in a row, they made an amazing comeback that excited all of us. And for the second night in a row, they came up just short against the Brewers. We're talking about it in 30 seconds. Don't you go anywhere. Well, that sucked, but we are still live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. I am your mayor of PHNX, occasionally known as Derek Montilla. Great to have you guys here after such a miserable, heartbreaking loss where the Diamondbacks found themselves down early and managed to put together quite an impressive comeback, yet still come up short in the bottom of the ninth. Welcome in to the show. Of course, I got my guy Damon Dog on the ones and twos tonight, as always. And this show is brought to you by our friends at Bet365 and Game Time. Go download that Bet365 app. Use our code of PHNX365 when you sign up. Get yourself some bonus bets for following a few easy steps over at Game Time. Use our code of PHNX. You'll get yourself $20 off your first purchase. Of course, this is not a great night. We wanted it to be. We were excited. We were pumped. Damon Dog and I were here in the new studio. I was building some stuff. I was putting screws in wood and watching some baseball.
Full dad mode.
I was in full dad mode
just
today.
Cursing.
I was pissed. Things were not lining up. Let's just say that much. But I was also pissed because the Diamondbacks were once again down 6-0 early on in this game, much like they were last night. But then we watched them put together an improbable comeback when they were down 3 at that point. Diamondbacks managed to put up some runs in both the 7th inning and the 8th inning tonight in exciting fashion, had us screaming, had us yelling, had us jumping up and down here in the office, only for them to come up short in the bottom of the 9th inning and lose this game by a score of 9-8 to the Milwaukee Brewers. Their record drops to 64-69. I'm not even going to say nice. I'm not even saying, you know how much I would have wanted to say nice about that, and here I am still saying it, but I'm just screaming that I'm not because I'm upset, and it sucks that the Diamondbacks here approach 70 losses on the season. We've already established that this season is over, and they can salvage the series by splitting it. I think that would be a win at this point, but it's just unfortunate that for 2 nights in a row, the Diamondbacks found themselves down early due to their starting pitching not being able to get out of the 3rd inning. And that was the exact same story for Eduardo Rodriguez in game 1 as it was tonight for Brandon Pfaadt in game 2. Last night, they trailed 6-0, but closed the deficit to 6-5 with a 5-run 6th inning. Tonight, after getting down 6-0, once again with a poor performance from starting pitching, the Dbacks came roaring back to tie the game at 8 in the 8th. However, it was the Shelby Miller revenge game, wasn't it? It was definitely the Shelby Miller revenge game. They got dominated by Shelby Miller and the Brewers.
How many of those have we had
in the bottom of the 9th?
I mean, we've had a million Shelby Miller revenge games, it feels like, at this point. How many teams has he played for?
Yeah.
How many years has he been off the Dbacks? I mean, this is just the same old story.
Yeah. Benjamin Hunley asks, can you spend the entire show complaining about the Locklear pinch hit? I want to. And I also want to spend the entire show complaining about the mistake Jake McCarthy made, even though I still don't know if that was a catch he should have made or not made. Mistakes definitely came to a head here in this one. And I mean, again, one pinch hit at bat is not exactly what lost this game by any stretch of the imagination. But yes, in a huge moment there, as Sean said, the Arizona Diamondbacks manager, Torey Lovullo, who I claim no responsibility for any longer after this decision, went on to pinch hit Tyler Locklear against Shelby Miller. I don't really know the reason, considering ADC is on the bench right there, it's available to you. In fact, I would have rather had Andrew Saalfrank stay in the game as a hitter and take that at bat than seeing Tyler Locklear come into this game. Torrey, baby, what is you doing? That's what me and Damon were screaming as that happened. But yeah, it was a slow start for the offense. And then they got cooking, and then that pinch hit at bat definitely brought this offense to a screeching halt, as did Shelby Miller, who came in and struck out Ketel Marte on 3 straight pitches. But like I said, this is not exactly what lost it for him. Obviously, what lost it for him was not only Brandon Pfaadt's poor performance, but then the bullpen, who you can't expect a bullpen who goes in there and needs to clean up a game and pitch 7 innings, right? You don't expect them to be perfect, but you kind of feel, had they at least maybe held this one, that maybe, just maybe, the Diamondbacks could have eked out a win with the way their offense did come storming back late in this game. And it was a slow start for them. It did take them until late for their offense to get going. The Dbacks offense finally got going in the 4th inning after they were already down 6-0. They only had a walk prior to the 4th inning, no hits. The 4th inning starts with a leadoff single from Ketel Marte, which is their first hit of the game. And then with 2 outs, Pavin Smith doubled, moving Marte to third. Gabriel Moreno then comes into the game, continues just being the best hitter right now on this team. He hits his 7th home run of the season. That cuts the deficit in half. That's a 3-run shot to make the lead 6-3. It was 101 miles per hour off his bat, or 100.9 miles per hour off his bat, 406 feet to center field for Gabby. And again, God, we missed Gabby. We missed him so much. If he wasn't on the 60-day IL, I don't know how many. I don't know how many games this team loses. I don't know. However, Gabby struggled this year, so it's weird that he comes back from this injury and now is playing some of his best offensive baseball of the year. It's just great to see. And again, much needed with the deficits that this team has found themselves in the last 2 nights. The 7th inning, though, is when they got cooking. Jake McCarthy hits a leadoff single. That makes up a little bit for his error there that cost this Brandon, I guess you could say Jake McCarthy's mistake ended Brandon Pfaadt's day. But 1 batter later, Alek Thomas hits a single, moves McCarthy to third, and then Perdomo gets an RBI single that scores McCarthy, making the score 8-4. And Damon, I'm going to let you do your thing. Like, what more can we say about Geraldo Perdomo, who just continues to come up in these moments? He had a little bit of a uncharacteristic day today. He did strike out 3 times, which is more times than he struck out, I believe, in the entire month of August combined prior to this. But still, just a pretty incredible thing that Perdomo is doing here. 86 RBI on the season, 291 batting average, 393 on base percentage, 843 OPS.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Derek, but wasn't Perdomo down 2 strikes in that at bat? And it
that's his favorite place to be. You know,
it really
that.
was.
You know, it's his favorite place to be.
I don't think anybody was feeling uncomfortable there watching Jerry either, because they know that he's just as likely to get on base down 2 strikes as he is down 0 strikes. So,
have you ever seen anybody that legitimately is like that? Like, I've never seen a hitter that,
I mean, someone that admits it.
Well, no, that I can't. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because of the fact that he said that in that, infamous interview with Steve Zinsmeister. But it does feel like, because we pay attention to it, because he did say that, because he brought attention to it, we pay attention to it. And now we're like, yeah, no, I don't ever have doubts. Today was a day where in those moments he did strike out. He did struggle, but he did still find himself, being the one to get the scoring going there in the 7th inning. That made the score 8-4, and he continues to do it all year long. But Ketel Marte hits a sac fly. That scores Alek Thomas in the inning, making it 8-5. And then Corbin Carroll delivers with an RBI double that scores Domo and cuts the lead to 8-6. Then the Diamondbacks come out in the 8th inning, and they're able to keep the momentum going. Some good. We're going to criticize the pinch hit from Locklear, right? So obviously we gotta do the both sides thing just to make Killer Rex hate me. But yes, there were some good moves made, right? Pinch hitting James McCann for Pavin. He comes in, hits a leadoff double. Then Moreno hits a single, moving McCann to third. Then you have Vargas coming in, pinch hitting for Jake McCarthy. He singles, that scores McCann, makes it an 8-7 ball game. Once again, Perdomo with 2 outs comes up delivers again with an RBI double that scores Moreno to tie the game up at 8. So the Vargas pinch hit and the James McCann pinch hit, both of those worked out. However, the Tyler Locklear was a very bad idea. It was a very bad idea. And it's like, what has Tyler Locklear done at any point to prove that he deserved that spot over Adrian Del Castillo, who, by the way, has not hit as many like legendary walk-off hits as like my brain tells me he has, but ADC at least has 2 very memorable moments in recent history that I can think of that I cherish, that sometimes I watch on YouTube before I go to bed at night when I'm scared and lonely and I just need to feel good about myself. That at least gives me hope that he can come into this game and do it again. Instead, Locklear comes in and fart noise. That's basically what happens, right? Like, it was just a bad, Shelby Miller completely dominated him. As they said, he didn't even have his sinker tonight, and he was still just getting Locklear to swing at some pretty bad pitches outside of the zone. And it went as we thought it would go. So I don't know.
The moment, Gonzo literally said, maybe Torrey has a gut feeling about Locklear.
When Gonzo doesn't have an explanation, because normally you would be like, okay,
that's bad, man.
He's going, because as the analyst, you're trying to explain to the television audience why they did that. And it's like, all right, well, do we, we're doing the lefty on lefty thing. What are we doing? Is it the matchup? What are we exactly going for here? I don't know. I guess maybe you played yourself there. Maybe you overthought it. Maybe you overstepped it. Who knows, right? Adrian Del Castillo comes into this game. He strikes out, which he has done a lot, by the way. I don't want to make it out like ADC deserves to be praised. I mean, he's struggled at the plate, but Tyler Locklear has definitely not put together any competitive at-bats that would make me think that in that moment he would be able to deliver. Again, this is no, I don't want to bash Tyler Locklear. I think it was a terrible decision by Torrey to go to Locklear in that moment. So, and it went as you would expect, and it ends what felt like was once again, a situation where the Diamondbacks were really putting something together, right? So unfortunately, that's how that goes. Unfortunately, Shelby Miller wins this round for sure with the Milwaukee Brewers, and I'm sure somewhere Jordan Montgomery is having himself a good laugh. Jake McCarthy made a terrible defensive play in the
cheese
third.
curds, maybe.
Yes, probably.
You bum.
They're delightful. Why are we knocking cheese curds? By the way, the world's biggest Culver's is in Milwaukee, and to be honest,
Jordan Montgomery's there.
It's not even that big. It's not even that big.
That's where Jordan Montgomery's at.
That's probably where he's at. Jake McCarthy can probably, I don't know. He made a terrible defensive play. Again, this is one of those situations where I feel like the athleticism of the guys puts them in a position where it looks like a worse play than it was, and that may be a bit to explain, but it looked like McCarthy had it and doinked it off his glove. That allowed 2 runs to score in an inning that Brandon Pfaadt was already really struggling in and couldn't seem to get out of. It scored Christian Yelich and Isaac Collins, and that really is what put the game a little bit out of reach. And that's what's unfortunate here is this offense did a great job once again. Another night where the offense generated enough runs that could win you a baseball game, but just didn't. Again, we worried about what the offense would do in Milwaukee. We worried what the bullpen would do, and we didn't really think that the starting pitching would be the problem. And that's what it's been for the last 2 nights. Erod was bad last night. Geraldo Perdomo was never bad. I should never say that. Brandon Pfaadt, he was bad tonight.
Apologize.
I apologize. Geraldo, he knows I love him. I got a tattoo that's named Frognomo. What are we even talking about here? But Perdomo was 2 for 5 tonight with 2 RBI. He had a double. He had a run scored. 3 strikeouts. Not concerned. I don't know. It was Mizorowski out there pitching for the Brewers. So again, a guy that is pretty good, and the Diamondbacks struggled there early against him. Couldn't really do much, but again, they did get things going, and I applaud the Answerbacks peeking their head out a little bit, but they didn't get the job done, and a lot of it was because of the pitching. It was the pitching by the starters, and then pitching late by Juan Murillo in the 9th inning, where he was ineffective to say the least. But Offensively, the Diamondbacks once again had a few good performances today. Perdomo 2 for 5, 2 RBI, 1 double, 1 run scored. Alec Thomas, he was 2 for 4 with a run and a double. Pavin Smith 2 for 3 with 1 run and 2 doubles. That does not fit Elise and Damon's agenda at all. Corbin Carroll, he was 2 for 5 with a RBI and a double. Lots of extra base hits today. Again, 8 runs scored. That's a day that you might expect to win, especially with the way that this team has been playing as of late. They just could not kind of dig themselves out of that hole that Brandon Pfaadt got them into early on. But of course, you guys know who our King Snake is, and we're considering just making this graphic permanent. I might have Damon like draw up a fire one and we'll just use it every game. But our King Snake is Gabriel Moreno. He was 2 for 4 today, one home run, 3 RBI, 2 runs scored, and he was intentionally walked late in the game because they knew what an absolute danger and threat this man has become for this team. It's just unfortunate, right? Because again, this is this was kind of like the offensive pick-me-up that the Dbacks needed, and Moreno is providing that. And again, today, as much as Torey Lovullo did not pull the right switches when it came to certain moments, including in the bullpen and with that Tyler Locklear pinch hit, he did pull them in the right moments there that got the Diamondbacks back into the game with the McCann pinch hit and the Ildemaro Vargas pinch hit. So again, I got to both sides this just to make sure that Killer Rex stays hating me, because we can't lean too far in that direction. But Damon, overall, I know you're heartbroken. This is 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, this one hurt more than last night for me. This one was bad, man. I really felt like you easily could have gotten a win tonight. I know it comes down to like a 25% chance or whatever at the plate, but you can't put Tyler Locklear in that situation. You just can't do it. And both of us in the moment, Derek, were like, immediately, that's unacceptable. All of Twitter was blowing up. Like, if everyone knows it's a bad decision, it's probably a bad decision. And then he gets carved up like we all expected. He just isn't. He's not putting together competitive ABs. So why him in that moment?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this much. Piece of Yoshi is reading my mind, because I have here in my notes, I was like, the Guardians, 1 hour ago, it was announced that they have placed Carlos Santana on outright waivers, Damon. And
are you going to tweet it from the beat account?
I don't have my phone. I would text I'm not even kidding about this. I would text every single person I know inside of the Diamondbacks organization. I don't have Mike Hazen's number, but you know who does? Ryan Thompson. And I have Ryan Thompson's phone number, and I'm going to text Ryan Thompson to text Mike Hazen and say that Derek said that Carlos Santana is available, folks. Do we want to win or not is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I know he might be older than me, and his batting average is definitely not as good as Pavin Smith's or his OPS, but I'll take him at this point. I will take him. I
told you yesterday, Pavin Smith's OPS means nothing.
I know it does.
I explained why.
I know it does. Well, it's the Gold Glove defense. It's the Gold Glove defense.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's the Gold Glove defense from the 41-year-old man. Anyway, who am I to be casting stones? What am I doing? We're talking about someone's age. I'm actually defending him. Actually, 41, the man can still ball out. He is a legend. Representation is important, and I need an old guy out there still playing. Speaking of which, Rich Hill cannot retire, by the way, because if Rich Hill retires, that means I'm officially older than every baseball player currently playing baseball, and there's nothing that will statistically change that for me, Damon, going forward. That's just it for me. That's it. It's a wrap. My playing days are behind me. I brought my glove just in case they needed a defender at any point, and damn it, Rich Hill, you gotta continue doing it for us old guys. Also, pick up Carlos Santana. We are going to talk about the starting pitching and Brandon Pfaadt being bad tonight. We're also going to talk about Erod and his performance last night, and so much more, including we're also talking about the schedule that just released today. Are we going to Mexico City? Maybe. And even if we don't, me and Damon might just take a quick trip down there just for funds. But don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, of course, Bet365, as we discussed, does make betting on live sports more fun. And of course, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. They pioneered live in-game betting, and they offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. Make sure to get down on the live in-game betting for Major League Baseball games. This one was a wild one. And if the Diamondbacks had come back, but maybe you bet on the Brewers just to hedge your bet emotionally, you would have still been a winner, because no matter what, you are a winner if your team goes up by 5 runs or more with an early payout offer on MLB. That will be an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections, which will be marked as winners. So do not miss out. Go get down on the fun live in-game over at Bet365. New customers now can get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. All you got to do is sign up, use the code PHNX365, deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 or more to receive $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, players, props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary. Bet365 must be 21 or over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. And I might have made this up, or it might be actually a legitimate feature, but I heard that when you sign up for Mint Mobile, Ryne Reynolds will call you himself to tell you a spoiler about the new Avengers movie and what Deadpool's role is going to be in it. So if you want that, that actually might not be true. That might not actually be what happened. But what you can do is you can save a whole lot of money by signing up for Mint Mobile. As a new customer, you will pay just $15 a month for your first 3 months. That's it. $15 a month. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and your unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you this summer. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You use your own phone, you keep your own phone number, you keep your own contact. You just come over and cuddle up to Mint Mobile and Ryne Reynolds. And you also have to be a Wrexham fan. That's also part of it. Again, I'm making that part up, but I'm not making up the part about saving a whole bunch of money and getting 3 months of wireless service for just $15 a month. Skip breaking the bank and breaking a sweat this summer. Get this new customer offer and your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Diamondbacks. That's mintmobile.com/Diamondbacks. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited new customer offer required for 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees are extra. See Mint Mobile for details. All right. Well, of course, an uncommonly bad outing tonight from Brandon Pfaadt. And unfortunately for the Diamondbacks, that's 2 nights in a row where they got bad starts from their starting pitching. And if you want to really take a look at why the team lost this game, you could say it has less to do with the Tyler Locklear pinch hit and more to do with Brandon Pfaadt getting them down by 6 runs. However, Jake McCarthy's bad defensive play definitely factors in there. He didn't even get out of the gate before giving up 3 hits and 1 run in the first inning. So it was just one of those days that you could feel it. A lot of base runners there early on. Then he cruised through the second inning, which is encouraging, as we know in the past that Brandon Pfaadt can typically have one bad inning, and hoping, fingers crossed, that it was that first inning. Unfortunately, it was not. It was the third inning, which he did not make it through. He got absolutely rocked in the third inning. It started off with a leadoff walk to Turang, and then he immediately gave up a 2-run homer to William Contreras. Then he gave up a single to Yelich, struck out Vaughn, which is the highlight there in the inning for him. Then he gave up a single to Frelick, fielder's choice on the next batter, and then a 2-run double to that aforementioned mistake by Jake McCarthy out there in left field. Siegler hit that. It was a double that dropped in, scored 2 runs, and made the game at that point 5-0. You can't help but feel like had they been able to hold it to just a 3-run deficit, that if this Diamondbacks offense could have rolled, and maybe we could have seen something differently. But that big mistake by Jake McCarthy pretty much ended Brandon Pfaadt's day. He stayed out there for one more batter, and he gave up an RBI single to Blake Perkins. That made it 6-0. ending his day. And quite frankly, Pfaadt just didn't look like he had it really at all. When you look at what he was throwing, he threw his fastball the majority of the outing. 30% of the outing was four-seamer. 25% was sinker. 20% was changeup. None of it looked like he had a really good feel. He stayed far away from his sweeper. He only threw that 6 times. He only threw his cutter 6 times. He tried throwing the curveball 8 times. And again, that's not necessarily a pitch you see too often from Brandon Pfaadt, but you usually see that sweeper or another pitch, sinker, changeup, something else used with a bit more frequency there on an outing like this. He didn't throw a lot of pitches tonight because he didn't make it very far, and at times he just didn't look like he had very good command of his stuff. It was one of those nights where he did not get very many swing and miss on his pitches. He only got 5 total. He got 4 on his 4-seam, and then 1 on the surprise curveball there. So it was a rough outing, and it wasn't aided in any way by that Jake McCarthy mistake. You know, had had Jake made that catch, that ends the inning, and instead and prevents 3 runs from scoring. Not just those 2, but then the RBI single to Perkins that he allowed. He went 2 2/3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 6 earned runs. He walked 1 and struck out 4. And of course, with every K you win at Circle K, text strike to 31310 to start saving on fuel, food, and drinks after every Dbacks home game. And if this was a home game, Brandon Pfaadt at least would have gotten you another hot coffee, which, again, is what it feels like. A cup of coffee feels like how long these pitchers have been staying in the games for the Arizona Diamondbacks. You haven't been getting a ton of consistency out of Erod. You haven't been getting a ton of consistency out of Brandon Pfaadt, but you've been getting much better outings than this. And credit where credit is due. The Brewers are an excellent baseball team, so they come in with a good game plan, and that game plan so far has worked. I don't want to credit them too much because, again, I do feel like today's, that fielding mistake there by McCarthy was a bigger reason why Brandon Pfaadt wasn't able to stay in this one longer. However, you got to give credit to MLB's best baseball team right now. They come out, they attack, and they put up those runs early. Now, credit to the Diamondbacks offense for both nights being able to go out there after having a huge deficit in front of them, not giving up and still continuing to fight. But, the performances by Brandon Pfaadt and Eduardo Rodriguez just put them in a position where it was too difficult for them to come back. Diamondbacks lose game 1 of this series by a score of 7-5. They had that 5-run 6th inning, which was a valiant effort to get them back into the game when they were down 6-0. That got them within 1 run, but they could not close the door. And Erod was just awful. He gave up 5 runs in the 3rd inning, couldn't escape the inning, similar to Pfaadt tonight. He went out, pitched 2 1/3 innings, pitched 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 walk, 1 K. Damon, our bullpen is bad, right? But credit to the bullpen.
I haven't heard.
For holding in a lot of, it's gotten better. And I mean, even though it's not consistent, and
they have their moments.
They have their moments, right? Jake Woodford's had a lot asked of him, and even though he has not been great, he has been good at times, especially giving this team some fairly long relief. Bryce Jarvis was not great yesterday, but it still felt like he gave this team a chance to win by going up there and eating some innings. But you just cannot ask them to go out there and do this 2 nights in a row. And they also have 2 more games in Milwaukee. They have 2 more games where they have to go deal with this Brewers team with a bullpen at this point that's fairly taxed. And again, didn't get the job done tonight. I mean, again, Jake Woodford, he had a valiant attempt to save the day again, but you can't ask this of them constantly. And I mean, again, I didn't expect them to win this game when Brandon Pfaadt only gave them less than 3 innings pitched, and they didn't. But much like this season, they did get me to believe at one point that they were going to win this game, and that's what I hate. Maybe it's not their fault. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I'm stupid for believing at times. Maybe that's really it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me once, can't get fooled again, or something.
Fool me 15 times. because I think that's how many times I've said that the Diamondbacks are back this season.
God.
I'll say the B word because we're dead again.
Yeah, we are. We're dead. It's over. It's never been more Jover. In fact, it's so Jover that it's Joe over. But bullpen again tonight, at least ate up some innings, held the Diamondbacks. I mean, an earned run there for Woodford in his 2 2/3 innings pitched, an earned run by John Curtis in his 1 2/3 innings pitched. He gave up 2 hits. He struck out 1. Woodford 2 2/3 inning pitch, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 2 K. And then Saul Frank is excellent. Saul Frank is crazy. Saul Frank is our closer for the rest of the year. And honestly, I'm shocked. I am shocked. Like, I really felt like what Saul Frank did back in 2023 was a bit of a fluke, and I don't think I ever expected him to get back to being as good as he was during that stretch. And damn it, he is. He hasn't been perfect like he was, but tonight he was. Gave up, struck out 1 in his 1 inning of work. Nothing else allowed. His ERA, Damon, is now 1.47 this season.
And he looks good doing so. Like
he does. He looks confident. He looks like he attacks the zone. Yeah.
No one's hitting him super hard. It doesn't feel like, from an eye test standpoint, I don't know what the numbers necessarily say there, but it feels like he's like, it doesn't feel fluky like you're saying, where it felt semi-fluky in that playoff run at times. For
sure. Killer X said Jarvis outpitched Erod and Pfaadt. He absolutely did. And Jarvis,
he said fart.
He did. I wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of saying that part.
Well, but, I'm just taking him at his quote.
I know it's fine. But I also think that, like, I thought Bryce Jarvis was going to be the 5th man in the rotation, quite frankly. And Nabil Krismat has been great in that role so far. But again, Bryce Jarvis, he was a starter. He has been a starter, and again, it's one of those things that. I would love to see him perhaps get that opportunity maybe next season if the Diamondbacks need it, because so far, based on my calculations, they're going to need it. Juan Murillo fell apart when the Diamondbacks needed him to. They needed him to help extend this game after their disappointing top of the 9th inning where they didn't score a run to go ahead. Murillo just struggled after giving up a broken bat single to lead off the inning. He would not record an out. He would give up 2 more walks and load the bases before getting pulled from this game. And that's not good because there were no outs, bases loaded. Wasn't hard. Kyle Backus came in, did what he could. I told Damon, I'm like, just go in there and like, there's nobody's blaming Backus if the Diamondbacks lose the game in that situation. It's pretty much on Murillo for loading the bases. So just go try to get some outs. Try to see what you can do. See if you can get that pop fly and the double play. And he did get the pop fly, but unfortunately the next one was also a pop fly a little bit further out that ended up being a sac fly RBI that allowed the Brewers to walk off the game and win. And I mean, a bunch of people in the chat are saying Murillo has too many chances. He can't aim. That's from Katie May. He has struggled with his command. And again, I'm not giving up on Juan Murillo because I still think he is somebody that can be of use to this team, but he was not good tonight. And his command is definitely a problem for him. It's one of the reasons why he got sent down previously, despite the fact that he has really good stuff at times. He just can't control it. But Diamondbacks, again, got close in this one. That's what makes it even harder than just a 8-0, 8-3 loss like it was set up to be at one point, Damon. The fact that this one got so close is what has me more bummed out than if they would have just gotten throttled tonight by the best team in baseball.
Well, I mean, obviously you're on the road playing the best team in baseball. So you're down 2 games now. It feels pretty daunting to win those next 2. That feels like a team that's going to be mentally exhausted going into those final 2 games. Conversely, you could have easily won both of those games. Even if you won tonight's game but lost the first one, you could say, hey, we almost made the comeback in game 1, but game 2, we completed the comeback. Now let's go win game 3.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. I don't see a world where they're not demoralized going into the final 2 games here. I really don't.
Candace says if Murillo didn't blow it and we went into extra innings, do you think our offense would make another comeback, though? I don't know. It's a good point. I mean, it's a fair point. I don't know how much more the Diamondbacks had left in them, and this Brewers team has just been very good this year. So you got to tip your cap to them. I do moral victories are meaningless, but at the same time, more moral victories still count for something around here. And I will say that the Diamondbacks, they had a good showing, despite the fact that their starting pitching was so awful the last 2 nights. They didn't give up. And that's one thing you got to love about this team. We tweeted that out. You got to love the fact that these guys, they want to win for each other, and they want to win to prove people wrong right now. There was a point, I think, around the trade deadline where I think it had finally gotten to them. And I don't think that they wanted to win or cared about winning. But right now, they care, and they're fighting. And at least it's making it fun to watch baseball games, albeit heartbreaking as well. So, and Andrew Dang, you're right. He says, we do have the toughest schedule remaining than any other team. I understand it's a lot of pressure. I think as long as we're competitive, anything is possible. And I think all we as fans just want to see them be competitive, right? We want to see them go out there and do, win these games and stay in the fight and see what can happen. It has felt very unlikely for a very long time, but that doesn't mean that at any point it has felt like they've completely been out of it, despite the fact that at one point they were down nearly 10 games in the wild card race. So, hey, Benjamin Hundley says, you didn't give up, Dbacks. Here's a lollipop. Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's baseball. It's a 162 game season. If you don't feel at least proud of your guys every once in a while for not quitting, despite the fact that Brandon Pfaadt, Jake McCarthy, I'll say combined, put them in a 6 run deficit, then I don't know. You might not love sports. That's probably too far to say.
Yeah, I love sports, and I didn't love tonight.
No,
the comeback was almost fun, but it's close but no cigar, man, and it doesn't count. It's a loss.
It's a loss, and again,
counts
that's
like all the rest of them.
It might hurt more than them not coming back, right? Like that's something that we could debate about this season for sure. Is like how much more the games you thought you really were certain they were going to win or certain they were going to complete the comeback and didn't, were worse than a game where they just went down by 4-0 and lost 4-1 in the end. And you're just like, that game happened.
It just yeah, man. It feels like nothing's going right for this team right now. I don't want to keep harping on it, but the decision for the pinch hit is just, you lose some people in those situations because it feels like you want the team to be competitive, but how are you being competitive in a moment where you're making by all accounts, the wrong decision in that type of a situation?
I think I'm sure he had his reason for it, but Luis Gonzalez couldn't even figure it out on the broadcast. Right. So I don't know, man.
None of us really can.
That's one of those moments that absolutely, you can't really defend that move from Torrey, nor would I even want to try to, because I think it was a terrible move. Now, like I said, much like Candace's thing about going into extra innings and do you really think that they win? I don't know, but I can say that we've seen them win enough extra innings games lately that I would have loved to see them give it a chance. And I think there's just a little bit more, I don't know, respect earned if you push this game into extra innings and lose there. But who cares? These are moral victories, and moral victories are loser talk, and none of that matters anyway. But similar thing, right? Like at least if you put ADC in that moment and he strikes out, we're all sitting here not questioning the decision and thinking about the other, the alternate future of man. They should have put Tyler Locklear in that situation. I don't think anybody would have said that. I don't think if you go with ADC in that moment, there's anyone that says, well, you had Locklear sitting there right there on the bench. Why didn't you go to him? Right. So again, that's what you're talking about, Damon, in regards to the right moves. And when you make the right moves, even when they go wrong, you still don't feel that you don't feel like that was a stupid decision in the moment, right? You just think like, oh, Del Castillo didn't get the job done.
Yeah,
right?
There are times where it doesn't work, but it's the right call.
It's still the right call.
Yeah, right. But then there are times where every single person in this fan base is going, you picked that guy?
Well, you also have the fact that he did pinch hit for James McCann and did bring Vargas in earlier and kind of went all in perhaps too early. Now those moves worked out.
To your point earlier, ADC has done it in those moments before. And it's a lefty on righty matchup. Yoshi did make the point, maybe there might have been a lefty warming up in the pen that would have come in to face Adrian Del Castillo there, but I don't know. I just don't love the righty on righty matchup with a guy who's just been struggling and uncompetitive.
Yeah. Again, nothing from nothing from Locklear has made any of us believe that he could have done something in that moment. However, Adrian Del Castillo has. And that's, I don't know. I think that's the big difference there.
What do you have to say to Yoshi's earlier comment where he said basically like he's fine with it because these moments at this point in the season are about seeing what you have in a guy like Tyler Locklear? Do you understand what I'm saying?
What do you mean?
Like that he's fine with that being the pinch hit because we're trying to figure out what we have in Tyler Locklear for the rest of the season. So give him those opportunities and see what he's got.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
It's kind of unfair to the rest of the team.
It's unfair to the fan base who foolishly believes you're trying to win games and make the postseason. How about that? That's what it's unfair to. However, it's our feeling that they're trying to win games and make the postseason. It's something he said in press conferences and such, but maybe internally that is what they're doing. Maybe internally looking at their younger players in these big moments might mean more to them than wins, but that seems stupid to me, and I'm sure that seems stupid to a lot of people in the chat, right? However, I mean, again, we don't know the alternate reality where ADC comes in and strikes out or wins the game for this team. We don't know. What we do know, though, is that the way Murillo pitched, if he would have still been the option there in the bottom of the ninth, which I know he would have been, I don't think even if the Diamondbacks had a lead, that they would have had that lead for very long, right? So, and again, they would have had, runners on first and second with 2 outs, so maybe that run is all that they get, but it's hard to think that even if the Diamondbacks had a lead, that they wouldn't have still suffered a similar fate of going into extra innings and maybe still losing, but I don't know. These are all branching out timelines that I would rather live in than the one where we just watched them lose, quite frankly. But we're going to talk a little bit more about this game on the other side of this break. We're also going to talk about the Diamondbacks schedule that dropped today. MLB dropped their schedules out of nowhere, and people are not happy about them. Also, we shouldn't be happy because the Diamondback schedule is very difficult, and I don't think we're going to Mexico City, but we might be going to Mexico City. I don't know. But we're going to talk about on the other side of this break. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, Damon, you and I know a hack for getting good tickets, and that hack is Game Time, right? Game Time is the ultimate hack for purchasing tickets, especially if you are a procrastinator like me and this man sitting to my right. Make sure to get down the Game Time app because you can save up to 60% off last-minute tickets. And you can also get down on unlocking some amazing experiences in a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use. It's very aesthetically pleasing. And the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. I think we've all purchased tickets in some way online and were there at the event and did not have those tickets sent to us in a timely fashion and all got a little nervous, but you don't have to worry about that with Game Time. You can also know that you will see your total up front. There will be no surprises with additional fees at checkout. Plus, as we've been talking about, there's a great way to save, including Game Time picks, where they will grab the best seat in the house for you and highlight it for you. There's also zone deals where you can pick a section of the arena or the venue where you want to sit, and they will find you the best deal in that seat. You'll save even more money. So take advantage of all of these savings and also take advantage of the lowest price guarantee in the industry, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHNX for $20 off your purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHNX for $20 off. Damon, tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it, Damon?
Game time.
It's game time, especially for this guy. He's pumped for college football season. Me, I will be somewhere at a tailgate eating someone's food. So I can't wait for it either. But I also can't wait for the temperatures to cool down. We know that's not going to happen anytime soon. And a great way to save yourself some money is by getting yourself a smart thermostat. Our friends at APS want to help you do that. If you are an APS customer, you can get an APS smart thermostat for as low as $0 directly from APS. And why is that important? It's because you can schedule exactly what your temperature is going to be throughout the day, when you're going to be home, when you're not going to be home. Take your dogs into consideration. Remember, dogs have higher internal temperature than we do. They can actually be in higher temps. So you are not treating your dogs poorly by turning your temperature up in your house to like, say, 78 degrees when you're at home. They're fine. Their internal temperature is like 104 degrees. Ours is like 98.7. There's a difference between us. We are not the same. So again, make sure to schedule your temperatures properly. Make sure to save yourself some money. Remember, raising your temperature just 1 degree can save you up to 2 to 3% on your bill. APS customers may be eligible for smart thermostats for as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. If you already have a smart thermostat at home, see if it's eligible to enroll in Cool Rewards. Plus, free installation is available at the link on our video description. Must be an APS customer and pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions do apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more information. And Damon, this one's heartbreaking. This one is not easy to look at, but let's take a look at the count presented by our friends at Desert Financial. And it's not Desert Financial's fault. It's the Diamondbacks' fault. It's the Bullpen's fault, Brandon Pfaadt's fault, a little bit Jake McCarthy's fault. But Diamondbacks lose this one by a score of 9-8. They out-hit the Brewers 14-12. They were not awful with runners in scoring position. They were 5 for 15. The Brewers just made better use of the fewer opportunities they had, going 4 for 7. The Diamondbacks had more extra base hits. They had 6 extra base hits, a lot of doubles today. Corbin doubled. Pavin Smith had 2 doubles. Geraldo Perdomo doubled. Moreno hit that home run. Meanwhile, the Brewers just had 5 extra base hits. Expected batting average, a little bit higher for the Brewers there at 274 to the Diamondbacks 249. And remember, expected stats are imaginary stats. And I'm still going to fight Jack Summers over his ERA comment being an imaginary stat. But this one is stupid because, once again, this is where we stand here in this game, where, like, in almost every statistical category there, except for expected batting average, the Diamondbacks beat the Brewers, and also except for the score. But again, this one's heartbreaking. I think that, again,
I mean, what was the big difference there that we didn't talk about? And I know it probably goes down as a hit, but like the Jake McCarthy situation,
yeah,
if you play better defense there, that could be the difference between a win and a loss.
I mean,
and
it really does feel like it. It really does feel, because, again, not only did that allow 2 runs to score on the play, but then Brandon Pfaadt gives up an additional RBI single and 3 runs essentially score. You take 3 runs off the board. You feel a lot better about that. You feel a lot better about the Diamondbacks having like an 8-5 lead late. Again, you don't know how the game plays out from that point, because perhaps Pfaadt doesn't get pulled from the game. Maybe you don't go to Jake Woodford so early. Maybe you don't do this, that, or the other thing. Maybe you have Andrew Saalfrank available there in the 9th inning instead of coming in the 8th in order for them to get there through, to the end of the game. So it definitely could have played out differently. And that Jake McCarthy play ended up being essentially the biggest play of the game for the Diamondbacks as far as negative plays are concerned. But again, also you gotta look at what Brandon Pfaadt was doing, and he was not able to get a lot of guys out in today's game. The 2nd inning was the only time where it looked like he was competitive, and then it went right out the window once again. But this was a rough one. This was a rough one, and again, I only feel like it was a rough one because they did such an excellent job about coming back. That's what makes this one rough for me. But I'm sure that has to feel a little terrible in that clubhouse as well. And also, you are not set up well for the remainder of this series either, right? As we said, the Diamondbacks in the last 2 games have used a lot of their a lot of their bullpen. They do have Ryne Nelson going in game 3, so you can feel a little bit confident that perhaps Nelly can go out there and give you 6 innings. But then Nabil Crismatt is going in game 4. And again, if Nelly doesn't give you a good outing, I don't know how many innings Crismatt is going to give you. At the best 4, maybe 5, even on a good day. So again, this is not shaping up to be a good remainder of the series. It's not shaping up for the Diamondbacks to be in a good position to win either game 3 or game 4.
Yeah, Ryne Nelson is basically the franchise at this point, to put it lightly. And I don't think that's too dramatic to say.
Yeah,
we have no other starting pitching. He's the only shining spot that looks like been consistently good for the better part of an entire year now. And hopefully he gets the job done. But Quinn Priester's pretty good, man. 11-2, 3.44. It's not like Ryne Nelson's getting some good looking matchup on the other side. I mean, to be fair, the entire Brewers rotation is good. And that's part of the reason that they're the best team in baseball. I mean, it's pretty much the case anytime you're the best team in baseball. But we definitely have a severe pitching disadvantage the entire series. Ryne Nelson being the only starting pitcher we have that can go toe-to-toe with these guys.
Well,
things currently stand.
I mean, that's disrespectful to our staff ace, Nabil Crismatt. I mean, I don't know how you could say that about
undefeated, one ERA of 1. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
TBD, also pretty nasty.
It's also pretty nasty, Damon. The Diamondbacks schedule for 2026. And we're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. I'm not even going to have Damon dive in to the drunken orgy of violence that we call the NL West. There's games still going on, right? We got multiple games in progress.
We're about to be done. Updates? Yeah, we definitely are almost done here when it comes to some NL West games. The Padres are up 7-6 on the Mariners in the bottom of the 8th inning. So looking like maybe the Padres are going to get the W there. The Mariners are the home team, so they're going to get 2 opportunities at this. The Dodgers are up at home on the Reds 6-3 in the bottom of the 8th. So it looks like the Dodgers are about to win. And the Giants got the job done against the Cubs, winning 5-2. The Rockies also beat the Astros 6-1. So we could be looking at an entire divisional sweep outside of the Arizona Diamondbacks tonight.
Sweet. Then I definitely don't want to look at the NL West. You know who I blame? CHGO Cubs. They tweeted at us and were like, hey, thanks for coming back in your game. And then we lost. And that's who I blame. Maybe it's not Tori's fault. Maybe it's not Jake's fault. Maybe it's not Brandon's fault. Yeah,
CHGO.
Worry about your own thing. Don't at us, CHGO. We're not trying to help you. We're trying to help us. So, but we're going to help ourselves here by taking a break. Then on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about the Diamondbacks 2026 schedule. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, shout out, as always, to our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union for always making sure our numbers with the count are straight. And of course, shout out to them for also keeping our finances straight. If you are looking to achieve your financial goals the way I have been lucky enough to achieve mine, make sure to check out Desert Financial. They can help you get started on your home ownership journey or whatever financial goals you're trying to reach. They're also the best place for you to go as an Arizona sports fan because it is the only place you can show your team pride. With every purchase you make, they have exclusive debit cards branded with your favorite teams, including the Arizona Cardinals, Arizona State University, and Northern Arizona University. So look to Desert Financial for checking and savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and so much more. When you open a free checking account online, get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200 today. And Damon, I just found out today that Rally House not only has a jingle, but it is an incredible jingle. And I have not mastered this jingle yet. I do not know all the words to it, but when I do,
get mastering it.
I am going to sing it on every single episode because it is very much an 80s jingle. And being a kid of the 80s, I got excited the minute I heard it. So make sure to check out Rally House, not only because they have an amazing jingle, but because it is the place to shop for Arizona sports gear. You know I love gear. I got this Arizona Diamondbacks, Arizona State shirt on. And they got shop locations in Tempe, Mesa, and Glendale. So you can get out there today. If you haven't checked out Rally House for all of your game day needs, they have you covered. It doesn't matter what you're looking for. They have it. I'll tell you that now. Socks, got it. Jerseys, got it. Hats that match your jerseys or match whatever shirt you're wearing, they also have that. They also have coolers, socks, signage, drinkware. They even have sunscreen with your favorite team on it. Whatever you're looking for, on your game day, stop by and shop with Rally House. They carry only Arizona sports teams too, so you don't have to look at those gross other teams, no matter what neighborhood they're in, no matter who plays spring training near them. They will not make you have to look through Cubs gear and Dodgers gear. Every time you visit a Rally House, you're guaranteed to find something new, unique, and that matches your game day vibe. So find your local Rally House location and shop their entire product assortment online at rallyhouse.com today. Damon, MLB dropped their schedules today. They did it.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I mean, it's around the same time of the year every year, but it seemed to just still surprise me.
I think this was the earliest one ever.
This is crazy early, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, we're not even in September yet, and I'm already worrying about the Diamondbacks having an opening homestand, actually opening on the road against the Dodgers in LA, and then coming back here to play the Detroit Tigers right away. I don't love that at all. And then they play the Braves right after that, which I feel a little bit more confident about that. There's some highlights around, of course. They play the Blue Jays and the Yankees. So that's who they get for interleague play, as well as, of course, the 4th of July game will be at home against the Milwaukee Brewers. But, Damon, this schedule is not great to start out the season. And we already know that the Diamondbacks already have themselves a fairly difficult road ahead. Changes are going to be made this offseason, so we know that is going to be what it is. But like I said, they start off the year on the road against the Dodgers, and then they come home to face the Tigers. Then they have a road trip that features the Mets, Phillies, Orioles. Then they come home to take on the Blue Jays. Then they face the White Sox. And then early on there in the month of April, there is a little 2-game series against the San Diego Padres that doesn't make much sense to me, other than, could this be the rumored Mexico City game against the San Diego Padres? Now, The Athletic had already brought this up. Ken Rosenthal, I believe, reported that there were rumors that the Major League Baseball was working with the Diamondbacks and the Padres on an international game that was going to potentially be played in Mexico City. Typically, those games are shorter 2-game series, are they not? Like in the past, I believe when the Phillies and the Mets went to London, I think that was a 2-game series, if I'm not mistaken. So this just kind of screams to me like this could be that rumored series. However, it's a Diamondbacks home game or home series. And the way that this is split up, I mean,
well, Derek, funny you mentioned that. I actually have Nick Pecoro's article up from April 2nd, 2025,
okay,
where he reported on the Diamondbacks and Padres being in talks to play that regular season series in Mexico City. And it would be in lieu of 2 Chase Field home games.
Okay.
So this actually fits in perfectly in that puzzle, potentially. And it would be a makeup of the scheduled April 2020 Mexico City series that was scheduled and canceled due to COVID.
Right. So, and then they play, let's see, a 4-game series against the Padres at home in August. So that would essentially be 6 home games total. And then you give the Diamondbacks 4 home games in a row. So that would at least offset a little bit of the fact that it's not a true home field advantage, but it's also a Diamondbacks Padres game. So there's a good chance they weren't going to have a home field advantage as it stands.
Come on, man.
No,
you don't need to do that to me.
Too soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still remember those people high-fiving over top of me at Chase Field last year. I'll never forget it.
Oh, I hope you don't.
In my own stadium.
Oh, well, interesting to see how it plays out. Again, schedule isn't easy. They end the season on the road against the Rockies and the Padres. There's like a weird division rivalry week or something like that where they play like I want to say, what is it? The Padres, 4 games, Dodgers, and then the Rockies. That's part of that 4-game series at home. So they're trying to do weird things with the schedule. A lot of things that don't make any sense, a lot of unnecessary travel. This is why division realignment is needed. And when division realignment happens, let's make sure to get out of the Dodgers and the Padres division. But that's Derek, all we got, folks.
Takeover Takeover in Mexico City.
Takes over. It's going to go crazy. You and I in Mexico City goes nuts.
That
goes insane. We
that's
might
stupid.
not actually make it back from Mexico City, and I would be fine with that.
Someone might need to join us from PHNX as a babysitter for Derek and I to make sure that we're, one, sober enough to do the show, and two, alive. Because we're about to have the time of our lives.
Yeah,
but who else is down? I mean, that would be unreal.
This is when we need Jesse more than ever because we need an adult to go with us.
Oh, my God. It would
Mexico
be great
City.
if Jesse could go.
Oh, yeah. See, Damon knows fluent Spanish, but only the curse words. So that's going to be a fun trip when we finally do that. But
Derek's accusing me of some crazy stuff off air, guys. It's insane.
Well, I appreciate you guys so much for stopping by. We will be back tomorrow with another post-game show. Until then, we love you. We thank you for being here. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. I'm at Cap_caveman with a K. Damon is at Damon Dog with a DAWG. Of course, we are all Damon's dogs. Bark, bark. Our show is at PHNX_Dbacks, but as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We thank you guys again for your time. We'll see you tomorrow. We appreciate you stopping by. Have a good evening. Behave yourselves. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you make the right decisions, even if they go wrong.
We all silly like the mayor.